Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel with myself, Isabella. Thank you so much for joining me here today. If you're new here, click that subscribe button so you never miss another video. If you guys don't know me, I'm known on social media at Ballet with Isabella, and I am a British graduate of the Vaganova Ballet Academy. I went when I was 15 and graduated 4 years later. So I have a huge appreciation for the Vaganova Academy, of course. Then I went on to dance with the Mikhailovsky Ballet and Eichmann Ballet, and now I have founded BWI. I am located in London. BWI is a platform filled with online classes and courses from beginner to pro. We also have bespoke plans so that we can help you very personally on your journey if you need more guidance. And we also host intensives globally, and we've just finished our adult ballet intensive, which was a couple of weeks long in London, and there'll be a winter one coming soon if you missed that. So do check out ballewithisabella.com. There's so much information on there, as well as all my courses and classes. You get 2 weeks to trial it so you can test if it's for you. So guys, now we're going to be looking at the exam of a very well-known ballerina, Maria Khoreva, also known as Mara Choc. I think we all know who she is. And her teacher is actually a teacher that is very, very renowned. I'm sure she's spoken about it before, but a very renowned teacher that has trained loads of legends. I mean, to be fair to all the teachers in the school, they're all amazing, right? But obviously, Kovalova has names behind her like Diana Vishneva, Olga Smirnova, and so she's built up a huge reputation. She is a little powerhouse. The Kovalova, the teacher, is tiny. She's like this tiny little woman who's been at the Vaganova Academy for generations now and has overseen so much. And now, you know, as a position of a coach myself now, looking at her classes and looking at her exams, it's amazing how innovative, you know, she still is. And she's always growing herself, you know. But I've watched her correct and I've watched her give class, and she's a very, you know, very lovely, tender woman outside of the studio. And inside, she just really works you to death. And she's not cruel or mean in any way, but she knows what she wants and she will push you to your limit. She's amazing. And with that, obviously, comes huge results within the students themselves. And so it's no wonder she produces star after star. We're going to watch some of Maria Khoreva's graduation exam in 2018, which seems, you know, long ago now, but not so long ago. So I can't remember if Maria was there when I was there. She must have been, actually. She must have been there. Yes, because I graduated in 2012 and obviously Maria was much younger, but I think she must have been around. And I wonder if we ever spoke or if she was aware of what was going on. Anyway, let's watch some of this exam, and this will be very interesting and informative. Nice. So starting at the bar as usual. Now, obviously, you know, Nikolai Tsiskaridze has taken over at this point. You know, the school director is no longer Altanai Muratova, which is hard and, you know, for different reasons. Lots of change. For example, you know, they all wear the same leotard now all the time. We never used to do that. We used to have just a bit more freedom, and we could actually design the leotards we wanted to wear, so, you know. And you guys have seen extracts of when we were wearing the blue leotards. We chose those leotards, you know. So now it's, you know, it's very beige now. I also feel like they're susceptible to being like even skinnier, because I think in the day-to-day classes they don't necessarily wear the skirts anymore, which is hard for, you know, a teenager and a body to, you know, accept that they're gonna change it all as they grow up. Now, obviously, I've just recorded an exam, a different exam, which you'll likely see soon if you haven't seen it already. And it's really interesting watching a more recent exam, you know, which is just a few years after that exam. And what's interesting is already just things look a little bit like even more. Obviously the Vaganova is very exaggerated, like in terms of everything's very extreme, like, you know, the height of the legs and everything's really beautiful. But I would say the body is even more extreme here, and the exercises are more complicated. I don't know if you have watched Nicolaitis Galizzi's actual exam, like his boys' exam. I feel like he made it literally like a performance, like literally like a show, and more so than ever before, like any other exam there. And I think he was putting his mark on the school, basically, and his mark on what he expects an exam should be like, or how he wants it to be. And so I feel like the teachers had to instantaneously up their game in terms of just making it more of a performance, you know, which is, you know, really interesting. But yeah, beautiful girls on the sidebar. I mean, they're on the side, but they're still amazing. Notice how the leg goes, you know, very behind the shoulder, écarté back. Lots of use of upper body, not shy to use it. Lots of back bend. It's interesting, Maria is very flexible in two areas, mostly. Mostly flexible in the front and the side. Obviously, she's spoken before about how she's, you know, been born with nice, like, or she finds adage easier. Yeah, like adage is easy for her, and I suspect mobility has always been fine for her, and like more of a natural thing. And I think probably the extension area she had to work on more, or continues to work on more, is the arabesque, because obviously her alignment in the front and side is perfect, and then to the arabesque is when the body dips more, you know, so that's an area probably she's had to work on. I mean, it's still beautiful, but you know, I'm here to analyze. Yeah, very nice girls. You know, it's all about trusting the bars there, you know, because sometimes when I teach class, people are very afraid to let go of the bar and show nice rounded shape. I mean, it's there, and you must use it to your advantage and let go of it, use it, grab it again, you know. Again, these are very nice exercises and difficult exercises, really difficult exercises. Like doing, it looks like nothing, but honestly, doing a fouette like that from front side to back is challenging. These are tricky combinations, but beautiful combinations. And also, you know, talented girls here. We have, I think those three did the odalisques not so long after this exam. And the focus level when you're doing these exams is just on fire. The amount of focus, you know, to do every exercise well, correctly, not to forget anything, with confidence, with style, with your personality. Yeah. Obviously there at the back, we have Masha Bulanova, who is, I love her. I think I really like her a lot. And very good at pirouettes and technically very strong. Who doesn't love a rond de jambe en l'air? You know what I mean? The exercises are just extra hard, extra technical in terms of they're made to be more complicated, you know? And a little bit faster as well. They're a little bit faster. Like, you know, the amount of strength you build from doing exercises like this all the time is really mega. Because bearing in mind, this exam is probably over within an hour, and we're doing all this. I mean, you do work up to this, like, you know, you work up to doing this a lot. Like, we do this for a few, like, I don't know, maybe a month or two, a couple of months. I mean, some teachers start some of the exercises super early on, like they might start the Grand Adagio early. I always love it when they do the attitude plie to the front. That's always really nice to watch. Those are not fun. But that's why you got to use the bar, and that's why I constantly talk about holding onto the bar and holding on to that supporting side and making sure you're pinning down with the shoulder. Because if you don't use it, and if you don't that's a really nice movement Kovalova's put in. Really nice. She's, like I said, she's very imaginative. Yeah, if you don't use the bar and you don't use the shoulder, then it's impossible to really, you know, use your back and keep it pulled up and get the legs higher, actually. Your legs go higher if you use your back. We're watching the whole bar, which is fun. Ah, these girls are a little bit stiffer. A little stiffer. Oh, they're a bit tired, I think, those girls. Unsurprisingly. Nice. Maria looks much more flexible with her left leg to arabesque. We're in the center now. Now, interestingly, we're on flat now, because again, this has changed massively. How they put the point shoes on super early, like for jumps. So it seems like they cover jumps and point all in one go. Beautiful alignment. Maria has very, very nice placement, you know, a very nice placement with her hips, very nice fluidity. Also, so does, you know, a lot of the dancers in her class, obviously. But she has, what's really nice to watch on her is how the extension looks nice and easy. Like when she lifts the leg to à la seconde, for example, the hips stay beautifully square and the leg floats up without much adjustment in the body, if any. So it's pleasant to watch, you know. She's not trying to be too extreme or anything. She's not being too gymnastic. It's still beautifully high. It's very high, but she still remains nice and placed, which is, yeah, really nice to watch. And I just keep thinking about Kovalova. You know, she's very impressive with her creativity, you know, constantly improving. Like Nikolai probably gave them all a challenge to really go for it, and you know, she's, I don't know how old she is, but she's you know, probably 70 something, and still manages to be super creative and make these girls push themselves more and more and more. Nothing like a nice double attitude. It's very satisfying. Nice accent with the wrist and head. All of these movements take a lot of practice. Beautifully controlled there. Beautifully controlled. That's really difficult, that fouette. The grand fouette to effacer. Really nice, you know. These exercises are great, and like I've said in other videos, like once you get to a point of maximum control of the body, they become, even though yes, still difficult, enjoyable to dance. And, you know, one thing I really relate and appreciate about Maria is, you know, she's been given the title spot underneath the portrait, center of everything. She's the one they're all looking at mostly. She's worked very hard for it, you know. She's also gone to the studios late at night to practice and work on her technique and make sure everything is solid and everything is really thorough. And, you know, that's how you really understand your body and really understand how to work it. And so that's something that I did as well myself, and it really makes a huge difference and makes you stand out, because ultimately you're more in control than the rest of them who just go to the class and who just do the ballet class and then go home. It's a huge difference, because she'll know, you know, exactly what she's thinking about, exactly what she needs to focus on, taking one exercise at a time. I don't know why she looks slightly different when she does pirouettes, you know, like she pirouettes super well, but I can't quite work it out yet why they look a little like the alignment is something not quite right when she does the pirouettes. Like, I'm being super picky. Like, I think I want her knee flatter and her arms slightly higher. That was not better, that one. And the teacher just said Golava. So, you know, one thing I really remember Khoreva saying so much is Golava, which means head. So she says it a lot. So she obviously instructed them to use their head more. So now they're in point shoes, you know, which is really interesting, and that's hard. Like, that's really, I think that's quite hard, going from not wearing them to suddenly put them on and jump around in them, because, like, it doesn't give you much time to get used to having them on and also stabilize in the shoes. Like, you know, get used to stabilizing your ankles in the shoes when you're landing, for example. It's a very different feeling jumping in point shoes and going from nothing to then putting them on and jumping, and having them strong enough so you can also do pirouettes in them. That's challenging, because not only are we jumping, we've got to do lots of pirouettes probably, and fouettes and things, and so probably they're slightly harder than they really want them. Also, one thing about Khoreva, she always adds a lot of extracts from ballets. So obviously that à la seconde into On the Don was from Dan and Action, I think. Nice exercise. Difficult. Oh yes, stretch the underneath feet. Nice. And obviously, you know, Maria wears block, and those are hard shoes. Those are hard shoes. Probably quite hard to jump in, but she manages. She's got strong feet. But yeah, no, it's good they look nice on her, because they can be rock solid, those shoes. But you know, these girls at this point in your life, you're really in your prime of strength. I mean, you know, it does, in terms of class exercises, it doesn't get much better than this in terms of strength. But what's interesting is when I recently filmed an analysis of, you know, an appreciation video of Olga Smirnova. We're watching some of her exams, and obviously, and me as well, we both had an extra year after this. So even though Olga could definitely, you know, have finished, you know, in year 8, we actually had another year after this one. So these girls are finishing technically earlier than we did. And it was always what's it called? Yeah, it was always 8 years, and then they added 9, and then I needed that, to be honest, so I was lucky, but then they removed it again. Nice, beautiful alignment of the legs, and Maria has beautiful hyperextension and interesting shaped legs, really, actually, because you could almost say they sometimes don't look straight because of the shape of her knees, but I love a sort of slightly knobbly knee, and like Olga has slightly knobbly knees, but it just I can't think of another way to describe it, because obviously her knees aren't exactly knobbly, but where the knee's quite prominent, it's just kind of really beautiful to look at. But yeah, she's very, very secure in front and second mostly. Those are her nice high positions, but it's very controlled. It's nice. And again, this is quite challenging doing penché in flat shoes. But yes, I keep thinking what the consensus was and what the thought process was behind putting the pointe shoes on early, to finish the exam early, to make them stronger, because obviously this is obviously the Bolshoi Adagio, by the way, because obviously they're not and they're doing it in one group. That's tough. It's a big group to do Bolshoi Adagio. Those poor girls at the back have no room. Very nice, very nice. I wonder whether it was, you know, to make them stronger, like obviously maybe Nikolai has seen that other schools in America, for example, they put the pointe shoes on and do the whole class on point. Maybe we need to do more point work. I mean, it really hasn't made any kind of difference, like in the past, wearing flat shoes. And as I've said before, like Olga Smirnova and all the Russian companies, like they wear flat shoes for the entire class in the morning. Like I don't think Maria ever wears pointe shoes in the ballet class either. Like it's just not the way they really do things. Oh, they get a round of applause for that. But I think it would make them stronger, actually, like, you know, regularly jumping in pointe shoes, you know, like stronger feet, stronger legs, and also stronger stability of ankle. And I'd be keen to know whether they, because obviously these are all different things, I'd be keen to know whether they like train a bit more in the pointe shoes, like whether they say, okay girls, let's do jumps in pointe shoes today, or whether they specifically just train for the exam the jumps in pointe shoes, you know. And I tell you, you know, these exams are like going to Everest. They are tricky. But these girls are strong at this point, like strong. These are very, very hard combinations that are, you know, literally. This is why the Vaganova is so good. Like, in order to cope with this, but like again, you get used to it, and it feels normal, and you push yourself and you push yourself more. And it's another reason why it's very nice and great to have people around you. Like, you know, Maria has a class full of talented young ladies who are amazing and equally as good, really. And that pushes you every day. That pushes you. Like if you know, Maria had been surrounded by people who are just like all right and not pushing themselves and not as determined, you know, that's harder, because it has to all come from you then, and a lot of it does. But when you're surrounded by girls who are equally as good, like, look, they're all fantastic and strong, it pushes you to like, I want to be the best, I really want to work hard, I want to be the one that's recognized as up top, you know. It makes a big difference. The standard needs to be good around you and high, because then you either rise to the challenge or they surpass you, you know. That's a nice combination. It's not as hard as it looks. It's like once you get the coordination on, dedon, prepare, pa-pum, it's not too bad. I think where Maria really excels is in adagio type things, you know, where her control is very prevalent. And I think she's worked very hard to become technical, you know, like super technical and nice and quick on pirouettes. I think she's worked very hard on it, because, you know, her body is hard to deal with, I think. She's relatively tall, I think, as well. I don't think she's as tall as me, but not many people are. But she's up there, she's quite tall. I think her classmates are probably quite tall. I really appreciate how flat her second is there. I think this is a classic Kovalova exercise. Like, I'm always shocked that a lot of people from other schools, like English schools, when they do Balinese en point, they struggle to do Balinese in arabesque, which is like, hello, we're graduating now. We should have a strong back and strong legs to do Balinese in arabesque, you know. Beautiful preparation. Very nice. And we've got a hop on point. Just something you've got to add in. They all look very nice and strong. Looks easy. That girl's travelled nicely at the front. I'm interested to know why she wanted to do the sort of Tchaikovsky pas. Do you know what I mean? I just feel like it's really strange, because Maria is obviously super flexible and very turned out, but I feel like her retire just doesn't quite open as much as it could do, you know, in pirouette. And there's just something, yeah, anyway, I just feel like the arms could be possibly slightly closer to her, and the retire could be slightly flatter. Yeah, that's what I would say. And obviously we finish with Italian fouettes at the very end of everything. So look, you can see the difference between the girl on the right, how she's dropping the leg down before she's even finished. Like, it goes attitude and it's already on the way down, whereas Maria keeps it up just a bit longer, and that's important. Lovely bow. Ah. Nice, they all look dead. They'll be on such a high now, though. They'll be on a high. Look at Nikolai's. And my teacher is there as well. There she is with the white folder, brushing her hair. Interesting. Oh, that was my first pas de deux teacher there. Oh, so sweet. You know, there's nothing you can't do really. Obviously, with the company life comes more challenges, many more challenges, and this is only just the beginning, but it really sets you up well. Like, it's not a very good feeling if you're going into a company feeling like you still can't do some technical things. And yes, although with the direction of Nikolai Tiscarizzi, it's changing and it's looking different, even more different now in the recent years. And let me know if you want a video on this, whether you want my opinions on the Vaganova then, you know, maybe actually the Vaganova way back when, the Vaganova when I was there, now the Vaganova now. Maybe that'll be a really interesting video. So let me know if you'd like to see that. Maria is obviously a very strong technical dancer who's worked very hard for her abilities, and I really appreciate that because I did too. And I think, to be honest, it's the ones who have to really work on their bodies and on understanding it, and have to work on their technique, who generally are the most intelligent dancers because they fully understand what they're doing and why, and fully understand where there's weakness and where there's strength and what they need to do, which is why I think, you know, we're both passionate about the conditioning side of things. So guys, thank you so much. Let me know down below if you want me to look at any other exams. I'd be really interested to talk about the Vaganova and my opinions on where it's changed, because it is interesting. Like, those exercises are slightly more complicated. It's more, the girls are asked of more, I think. So, like, you know, more pirouettes, etc. But then again, one could say, well, is it just the younger generation coming up and able to do more technical things rather than they're being asked to do more technical like things? I think the exercises have definitely changed, and it does look different, and I'll go into more detail. But, you know, dancers change over generations, and potentially the dancers who are coming up now, who are younger, they are just more capable of doing certain things or pushing themselves just that bit more, you know? It's a very interesting topic, so we'll talk about it. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys very soon. Bye for now.